First player spawning at the top left. We got our red Protoss player playing and representing the team of Alpha X. Put your hands together for Asuna.
Woo. And down here on the bottom right side of Light Shader, playing for License to Kill, we have Maplez or Maplez. Actually, is you guys say Z over there, so you should probably follow suit.
Now,
nothing weird to begin with, right? I mean, we don't see any proxies, so that's always a good start for PvP.
oh yeah, I mean PvP can always start off a little bit quirky, a little bit interesting at times, but then also it could also start off pretty normal, as we do see from both players. Probably going to be just a 2-gate opening, and I think when it's really going to get interesting is when the cybernetic core is down and we get to see their first tech buildings.
We have Maples holding the middle of the map here as well, just chilling out between the rocks. I like that. The Guardian Pro.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of that old Pokemon game where you go through the bushes and the grass to search for some Pokemon. I'm expecting like a wild Pidgeotto has appeared or something.
Oh, you need to have evolutions. The probe has evolved to a Colossus.
Oh.
Imagine. Yeah, it's down to 2-gate Cyber. I mean, you predicted it. It's no surprise. Got 2 Stalkers coming out for Asuna. Yeah, 2 Stalkers coming out. As well. So, did you ask for a more straight-up PvP right now? Probably not.
Yeah, now both of our players are opening up with 2 Stalkers. I mean, this is makes pretty much sense, good sense, because this is Light Shade, so you can kind of go across the map with your 2 Stalkers and put on some pressure fairly quickly. However, do they follow up with 2 more Stalkers? And it looks like they are.
Yeah, both sides going for 4 Stalkers, so yeah, we'll see if any of them move across the map with this, but I mean, it looks like Asuna is just trying to get a bit more map vision on out at the moment. We've got that proper gateway as well in the middle of the map. Sending out the probe a bit early on, getting that pylon up. So yeah, I feel like Asuna's being a bit more active at them.
Alright, Warp Gate is about to finish. It's going to be important for Maples to go ahead and place down those shield batteries, because there are a bunch of Stalkers making his way across the map. And I do like how he does have his own 4 Stalkers kind of placed at the top of the ramp just to get the first pot shots. But looks like, oh, actually Twilight Council. So it looks like Twilight Council will be the tech of choice for our blue Protoss. And oh, the pro for Maples does actually scout this. Sees that there is no expansion yet.
It's really good going there. Well, the Twilight's gonna, I mean, it's gonna be very aggressive from Asuna, I think, but you know, the Twilight slows down the units you can get out a little bit earlier for Maples, so I'm a little bit worried about this push coming up now, but we'll see how it gets handled. It brings up into the natural now, shading up. I think that shield battery is safe up.
Alright, Blink does get started here. And it seems like Asuna has abandoned ship as he does place down his own Nexus. So it's not going to be like a crazy all-in of some sort. But there is a little bit of pressure. Oh, actually get some nice force fields. We'll cut off and segment some of these units. And oh, actually a little bit of a mistake here by Asuna letting those depths finish.
Yeah, actually getting the recall on as well, and I think that was absolutely well handled by Maples there. I mean, the sentries give you so much time to delay any attack like that, and you know, prepare yourself a little bit further. And the thing is, Blink's going to be up very soon. Got Dark Shrine on the way as well, so this follow-up for Maples is going to be very good.
Yeah, funny enough, both of these players are going for Dark Shrine, so we're going to have a little bit of a DT shenanigans. No Robo actually quite yet, which kind of worries me.
It is interesting. I mean, yeah, Asuna's got it on the bottom side of the map. Going to be easier to proxy or like warp in a little bit closer to Maples as well, because well, we'll say that Maples does have a pylon across the other side of the map, so it looks like both players have quite a good frontal position to get these DTs in each other's faces. Dear. All right. Well, I'm excited to see those games.
Alright, looks like Blink does get finished for Maples Z. I don't know, how do you pronounce it? Maples Z or just Maples?
I'm going with Maples now. Yeah, it's a little bit easier, rolls off the tongueizer, so it's fine. But yeah, a couple of depths went down on Maple's side of the map, and you know, we're just kind of waiting for the first trigger to be pulled, because I don't know. Oh, wait, actually, here we go. Got DTs going up towards Maple's base. So I don't think either player knows that the other one's gone for DTs quite yet. So that's going to be a bit of a shock, I think.
Oh boy, he's looks like he's focused on blinking into the main base. DT does get in to the main, and that the robotics facility does chrono boost out this observer. So it looks like Maple Z should be okay relatively. Will force actually a recall on his stalkers, but how many probes goes down? 13 already. Okay, actually this is quite significant.
There's quite a lot of damage for this stage in the game, and there was quite a lot of promise blinking into the main, but you you can't sit around when your main's getting gutted by DT. 17 in total now. It's just it's a catastrophe.
That will bring Maples down all the way to 34 probes versus the 46 of Asuna. And now Asuna's sitting pretty, as I would like to see him just like plot down the third base and start getting maybe some upgrades as well. Throw down some additional buildings, protection buildings. Maples, his third bases are actually quite significantly up earlier, which means that, you know, he can have some extra chrono boost to kind of make up some of those lost pros, but still the army supply is heavily in favor for our Red Protoss.
Just unchecked for long. Maples could come back into this, get probes real quick, and get the economy back up and running, but I don't think Asuna really wants to stick around whilst that happens. I think Asuna knows exactly what situation they're in. To push across the store, because I don't think there's enough here for Maples to defend this. Shield battery's only just started, and we've got just so much. So many stalkers, and we got one back. Yeah, this third's gonna be good.
Yeah, this third base does get shut down, and there's really nothing Maples can do. He is going to go ahead and just fall back, but Asuna is going to go ahead and plot down his own third base. And it's going to be a tough one to break out of. There is a lot more stalkers, even a mortal add-in. Oh, actually blinking forward. That was quite a questionable decision there. Shield battery overcharge gets activated, but there's just so much here still left for Asuna.
Yeah, game and numbers there. Game number 1 goes to Asuna there in this best of 3 series.
All right, so it looks like Asuna will go up 1-0 in this series. I believe your mic was kind of cutting off a little bit, so hopefully we can fix that.
Yeah, it might just be my gate. I'll get that sorted. I'm using the automatic one at the moment, so.
Okay. All right, awesome.
Let's just bring it down a lot.
We apologize for that little hiccup there, but of course this is all live, so we're bound to have a little bit of technical difficulties, but hopefully that gets sorted for this second game, as it looks like Maples is gonna be, his back is up against the wall. It's a best of 3, so if he doesn't win this next one, he will lose this series. So let's see if Maples can kind of bring it and tie up and send it to a game number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to get the first number on the board, and especially in a mirror matchup, it just gives you a little bit more momentum as well. So yeah, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, it will take place on the map of Blackburn, which is a pretty interesting map to start off with and to begin with. But we shall see if Asuna can close it out here. Let's go ahead and jump straight into this game. Spawning at the bottom right, we got our blue Protoss. Looking to tie up the series. Playing for the team of License to Kill. Give it up for Maplez.
Ooh, and down here on the bottom left side of Blackburn, we have playing for Alpha X. Currently, well, I've actually forgotten who won the last games. No, they're both Protosses in my mind, so literally just look at
Yeah,
them.
Asuna,
Like,
yeah, Asuna won, yeah.
So yeah, game 1-0 up, and now on match point, so let's hear it for Asuna. Yeah, man. I don't want to say all Protosses are the same in my mind, but as a Zerg player at heart, it definitely feels like that at times. Oh, man.
Alright, so looks like both our players are actually going to go ahead and kind of start building at the natural, which is pretty, of course, smart and reasonable, because again, this is one of these maps that has a really small ramp area at the natural, so can pretty much wall it off no problem.
Well, really interesting to see Zella, actually. I don't know if this is normal for Blackburn. Maybe it is actually because, well, it is a bit atypical in terms of the maps. And is this to do with the wall off? Do you need to get the Zella out for that? Or is this... I don't know it well enough. I usually see adepts or stalkers to begin with.
Yeah, so basically, the Zealot is for just in case the opposing probe plots down a pylon to block off the natural. So you do see sometimes that the Protoss would place a pylon, kind of similar to against a Zerg player that's trying to get a hatchery. They will kind of place a pylon to block it, and of course Zergs will kind of make Zerglings to kind of help shut that down. And then of course on the Protoss side, you will of course chrono boost out a Zealot to kind of help kill that off.
Yeah, really cool. I quite like that. And it's yeah, so you got the single gate opener for both sides as well. So it's a little bit different. Well, I guess. But, you know, all not that too different, because you know Stalker will come out very normal. We got Stalker here. Shit, that's just main base. Well, against the Stargate later out. Oh my, cancelled. Cancelled Stargate.
Alright, this adept actually finishes for Maplez, and we'll see how many probes he can get. I don't expect too much.
I find that really interesting. The follow-up scout actually sees that the cancel of the Stargate into the Twilight, and the mind game that was trying to be made there by Asuna just didn't quite work out with that follow-up adept. Again, going for the robo facility in the middle of the map as well. Well, last time it was a gateway, this time it's a robo. Yeah, Asuna really preferring those forward positions to play from. And I quite like it.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Asuna, it does get scouted, so this gives plenty of time for Maplez to go ahead and start defending. And oh, actually gonna play a little bit of mind game. Asuna canceling that, knowing that there's probably not a lot of way to get this kind of successfully executed just because of the early scout. So he's actually gonna go ahead and go for Blink instead. Okay, there we go.
Really interesting play, actually. Just cancelling things, just whenever it gets scouted. I quite like it. It's kind of how I like to play StarCraft. A bit more tricky to read. And Dark Train comes down as well, and yeah, we'll be having a little bit of DP that again.
Yeah. Luckily for Asuna, he's gonna go ahead and drop down the robotics facility at a pretty reasonable time. Should allow him to be able to get that observer with plenty of start time. So I don't assume that this. Oh, actually, let's hold that thought. There is a war prison that does get scouted by the hallucinated Phoenix. So yeah, I expect Asuna to shut this down. Absolutely.
Yeah, already moving into position here to figure out where it's going to go. Actually going to set up just outside. I don't know where the DTs are going to come in, because the DT trying is about to finish up. So, yeah, in comes, well, one for the moment.
Alright, gonna go ahead and drop at the kind of the ramp area, but Observer does get full vision of this.
Well played there, Asuna. On top of everything at the moment, vision and just responding like that. But the third base again coming a lot earlier for Maplez, so yeah, economy's going to come on a lot quicker. Especially like investing that much in Dark Shrine and not getting much use out of it. I mean, yeah, sure, Archon's a little bit later, but for the time being, doesn't really help you out.
Ooh, what do you make of this? Maple's actually going for the DT Blink upgrade here.
Yeah, right. I quite like it. I mean, Asuna knows that DTs are here, right? But you know, once it's been killed once by an observer, you wouldn't expect your opponents to just go for DT Blink, right? Like it's just not. It's not what you'd expect. So I quite like that. But maybe Assuna's going to have enough observers out, and also with the Forge up as well, going to have cannons around eventually. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But you know, DT Blink is always a good upgrade. I'll always say it.
Yeah, it's, let's just say it's always annoying to deal with, of course. And even if you have all the protection in the world, it gets quite annoying. Unless maybe you have like 15 cannons at one base, but that's not usually the case.
No, it's not usually they give you that. But you know, in PvP, there's twice as much opportunity to see Dark Templar. So you know, going through a whole game without it, it would be a bit weird. But, yeah, where are we at right now? Kind of even on the economy. I mean, third base is coming up for Asuna as well. So you know, there's nothing to out the ordinary at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are just kind of macroing up, establishing the third base, mining off of it. Looks like Maplez is looking to put on some harassment here. Gonna go ahead and blink into the main while sending those DTs into the third.
Oh yeah, excellent. Oh, the blink goes in as well, and the cannons here. Maybe might be able to take it out, but the shield battery overcharge actually can keep it up, so no, not as much damage as you would like on that third base location, but you know, it's always worth trying.
Yeah, I think if you warped in a bit more DTs, that might have been a bit more successful in terms of taking out that cannon and just going for the probe line. But now that Asuna does kind of knows what's up, like he knows that there is a blink DTs out there, that he is going to go ahead and kind of fortify his third base a bit more than usual, than average.
Yeah, fourth base locations on the gold bases as well. I feel like it's a little bit mirrored at the moment. It's interesting how it's being played out, but we do have charge coming up for both sides. You know, more DTs. Actually, DTs coming out for Asuna. Actually, yeah, it's almost a mirror match at this stage, figuratively and mentally.
Yeah, pretty much. Now I'm gonna actually be pretty curious to see what these players gonna kind of transition into, because there's a lot of different ways in which the Protoss can kind of branch out. They can kind of I mean, both of them went for Blink Stalkers, so they can very much well just throw down like robotics facility and like robotics bay and get those disruptors out and play the kind of Blink Stalkers disruptor kind of army composition, or they can kind of go for maybe more the classic Charge Lot Archon, you know, Immortals kind of army composition. And it looks like Asuna might go for the more classic one, while Maplez, he's going for the robotic space. So I'm expecting those disruptors to be kind of produced out very soon. But as I say that, there was a nice DT kind of harass, does shut down the 4th base of Asuna, and I'm actually kind of surprised that he has not remade it.
Yeah, that 4th base going down is actually huge. It's near the end of his build cycle as well. So now just remaking it on the other 4th base location. It's taking the wind up the sales best actually. And now Maplez is posturing on the north side of the map. Gonna see if it's gonna get set up again. But you know, both armies are so mobile at the moment that it just seems so volatile. Just wait until disruptors come out as well.
Yeah. In the meantime, still harassing with these DT blinks. Doesn't quite get too much done with that, but his War Prism is still alive, so can very well go in for another dive into this dirt base. While Maplez, he is just kind of pulling ahead in the income with that gold base there, as you can see in the income graph. Just all blue.
It's such an advantage right now, and at this stage in the game when both players are going for a very similar kind of composition, any gain you can get, even if it's a few charge lots to the north or, you know, a couple of extra gases for this long means an extra few disruptors, and that can make all the difference. You do see 2 disruptors out now for Maplez, so you know, I think advantage is probably going to go towards them right now.
Yeah, now I think the tech does favor Maplez, but Asuna does have that +2 upgrade, and actually, as I say that, the +2 the +2 does finish for Maplez as well. So looks like the upgrade advantage does disappear.
Yeah, really interesting position. Both armies now just trying to find an angle. Churchill's going to go into natural here. Figure out what we're trying to do. I'll post the army back at these, which opens up the 4th base. So, you know, if he's quick, Maplez might be able to get the 4th. Okay. Safe is not to go for it. That's alright.
Yeah, gonna play a bit safe. I think he wants to make sure he doesn't lose his soccer army. And just kind of build up those disruptor counts, because the more disruptors he has, the harder it is for Asuna to engage. And right now, it looks like we're up to, let's see here, 5 disruptors out on the field.
I guess a couple of kills there, like an Archon and then 2 Stalkers. That makes him a little bit smart. Bring up to the north side now, Asuna pushing into this, I guess, this base location with Maplez, trying to find an angle there.
Alright, he's still breaking up a little, seems like. It's okay. Looks like
disruptors!
Oh!
What a hit.
Gets the majority of these stalkers, and now Maplez gonna go ahead and take advantage of it. Gonna go ahead and blink on top of the rest of the army, clears it out. And as you can see in the total army supply, as well as even just a total general supply, Maplez does get a huge win from that.
Yeah, what was that? The disruptor flank. 7 disruptor flank. Incredible. If it was momentum right now, Maplez pushing right into Asuna's 4th base. That's a whole lot here. She committing. Might be able to break through. That's a lot of DT then.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, there's no observer here for Maplez, so
oh man,
gonna have to retreat for the time being.
What a game.
Now the good news for Asuna is that actually pretty much the disruptor count has kind of been dropped down or reset it. As there's only 3 now compared to before, which we had like 5 or 7 disruptors out in the field. So maybe if Asuna can kind of maneuver correctly, and that's one win that he needs under his belt right now to kind of climb himself back into the game. Now Asuna, keep in mind, he does have still the upgrade advantage. It seems like a 3-2-2. So yeah, he does have a little bit of a window here.
Yeah, definitely could trade a little bit more physical points. Learning twice as much army supply. I know it's all in Stalkers, but I don't know. But yeah, tech is actually looking good for Asuna. I don't mind it at all. Just how long they can last with just such low eco. Look at the minerals difference now. It's just colossally different.
I kind of like how Asuna is trying to go for that middle base there in the bottom. Kind of more expanding towards his opponent.
Yeah. Again, decent protected. Oh, Disruptor Shock coming in, taking a few units. Actually caught the army of Asuna in this corner now. The Disruptors are just able to shell down. Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
this is...
Wow. The quality of engagements in this game is so good.
Yeah. Maples does have the advantage right now with those disruptors, but look at what's in the production tab. There are carriers being produced by Asuna, and if Asuna can drag out this game and build up a carrier count, that might actually be the momentum swinger.
What's up with this trade? I mean, so many Stalkers are making it falling here. I mean, the Immortals are doing absolute work. And all of a sudden, I mean, yeah, the longer this goes on, I think Asuna's going to take it back. It's a huge deep link into the third phase occasion. Scrappy.
Yeah, this is a scrappy indeed. The 21 probes going there, so nice damage, and actually gets out with all those DTs as well. And Maple's not letting up on the harass. Gonna go ahead and attack this triangular base, snipe off a carrier, which is actually pretty huge, because if you can kind of keep the carrier count low, it makes it so much easier to attack into.
Look, these DCs are just going crazy. I mean, they're going to get recalled, but I wouldn't mind seeing them turn into Archon very shortly, because they shred carriers. And now Maplez is clearing up the base on the bottom. They can pick about 30 total. Amazing multi-front going.
I'm really loving the activity, the activeness of Maples, making sure that he does take advantage of the mobility of the Blink Stalkers as well as the Blink DTs. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Impressive, isn't it? What's the game plan now? Stick to Stalkers and Disruptors, I guess, it looks like. For Maples, and the economy advantage is there.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's kind of Maples' game to lose, and you just gotta make sure not to let the carrier count get too dangerous, because there's so many games in PvP where one Protoss has like a bunch of stalkers and does have like the overall lead for momentarily, but then the one of the Protoss that kind of hangs on and just kind of builds up the carrier count to a point where it's almost impossible to attack into. You know, can all of a sudden the game just switches around. So yeah, Maplez does not want it to go to that point, but I think, yeah, with all this aggression, I think Maplez will take it, and he does. Maples with some great play, DTs and Blink play, will tie up the series.
Well, that's going to be 1-for-1 then in this PvP, and that was an excellent game. Like, we saw everything basically.
Yeah,
it was a Colossus, and you'd have the completeness. Man.
all right, looks like our third game will take place on Jagannatha, and nice little maps to end on. And I'm fully expecting like some kind of proxy out there for some reason. I just have this feeling in my gut.
Well, Asuna's definitely been on the map a little bit more, getting all these proxy gates and all that kind of thing. And yeah, I can imagine there's going to be a little bit more aggression at this point after that game. Like, you know, you kind of have a long game like that where you've been So like, let's just close out this game. Let's get it done.
All right, I'm gonna change our Discord server to New York instead, because hopefully it'll fix the.
Oh yeah, I'm connecting from the UK, so anywhere east is good. I
Yeah,
guess.
so it was. I had it set on New York, or not New York, Newark, and so I'm gonna try New York this time around, and hopefully the audio problem can maybe possibly be fixed. But if it doesn't, then we'll of course kind of try to fix it during the break. But thank you guys for bearing with us through these audio troubles. But we do have our lobby all set up, and we should be getting started or diving into our next game, our final game of the series. This is to determine who will win the series and kind of place themselves higher in the group standings.
Yeah, I feel like both these players are pretty evenly matched right now. It definitely feels like that. Like we're getting into like 6-7 minutes, and both players are pretty much in the same position, with the same tech pieces and all that kind of thing. Let's see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here on Jagannatha, game number 3. Spawning at the bottom left, we got our red Protoss player playing for Alpha X. Give it up for Asuna.
And on the top right side of Jagannatha, bringing out an absolute scorcher of a game. Amazing control with some of these blink plays of DTs and Stalkers, right? Let's see if you can continue the pressure, the momentum, playing for license to kill. It's Maplez. All right. You might get your proxy Stargate. You might. I haven't seen it in a while. It kind of feels like it's not as common these days, you know? I find, anyway.
I remember back in like a couple of years ago where it was only like proxy robos in the PvP. So of course back then there wasn't any shield batteries or anything, so proxy robo was like kind of like the meta to go. But of course with the introduction of shield batteries, that all changed. And then also the void ray, the void ray buff. We do see, you know, players do tend to go for some more Stargate play compared to like before, where it was just only robo play.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's interesting how bringing in the shield battery has changed StarCraft so much. Like, at least for Protoss matchups, of course. Because it brought it in as a defensive tool, and actually it's just a huge meme these days. It's just made cannon rushes like this extra spicy thing, potentially. It is funny. It's great that it's part of the game, and I just don't think it was intended by the developers.
Of course, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just pointing out that they've gone for different units for this time round.
Now we do have a proxy, but it's not like a proxy production building of some sort. It's actually a proxy Twilight Council, and looks like we're gonna have ourselves some DT plays once more.
That's interesting. Oh, we got the robot there as well. All right.
Yeah, I think he's throwing down the robo because he's seen like a lot of DT plays throughout this whole series. So he's like, I'm just gonna make sure, like, if I'm gonna DT my opponent, I gotta be careful against him if he DTs me. So just being a little bit extra safe, of course.
Look, the DT's right like 3 minutes, man. Like, that is so quick. I mean, I'm sure that's normal, but whenever I look at it from an observer point of view, I'm like, man, if I'm at 3 minutes, I'm only barely getting on my natural, like, couple of workers on there and stuff like that. But I mean, these guys are just going straight into it.
Yeah. And oh man, this is a little bit unfortunate for Asuna as his tech building does get scattered by that probe. So Maples Z or Maples, I keep calling him Maple Z or Maples, but Maples gonna go ahead and of course gonna head straight into that robotics facility. Now his if he can kind of go across the map with all these stalkers and just make sure that he has a detection at his home base, this could actually spell disastrous for Asuna because he's not going to have a lot on the ground, because when you go for DTs, the DT tech, you're not going to have a lot of just like pure bulk ground units to defend against what Maples has right now.
Yeah, and like this proxy is so far away as well that it would just take ages for anything to reinforce, at least at the moment. Because like, as Immortals are building, like, you know, it's warp prism. But here we go. Yeah, maybe it's now pushing into the natural of Asuna. Like the base there quite yet, but now up into the main traffic. You know, actually gonna do a lot of damage.
This is yeah, this is quite sad here for Asuna as all his units was like out of position. Now gonna go ahead and recall in order to help defend against this the Dark Templar.
Yeah, pretty nicely done there by Maples, I would say. Losing one Stalker for a bit of momentum, not having those gateways up for as long. So, yeah, not a bad trade at all. Not only that, though, I mean, having a natural up and keeping the army at home whilst they don't have a natural is just a massive win. So, you know, I think that's pretty well played so far.
Asuna, he's gonna have to do something here to try to, I mean, whether it's getting the cancel on the Nexus or something to kind of, because if this goes to the long game, Maples, he's gonna be in a pretty good position here to take the game.
Two Immortals at the back line does just means that shield actually does not last very long at all. But yeah, the Stalkers now link up and punch. They get away. This might be a building natural right now.
Alright, Maples trying to micro his best, but these Immortals are still standing. And oh boy, looks like he will have to sack this natural here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not actually going to keep it. I think he did a couple more volleys there. Takes the Immortals, but it's just not enough stuff. So yeah, Maple's pushed away there. Does he go back to take that natural though? Does he go back? Yeah, he must do. Come on.
Yeah, there's no way he can let that Nexus stand, especially since he has no Nexus on his natural of his own. And right now, half of Maple's army is actually in the middle of nowhere, and Asuna is just gonna go ahead and march right on forward. They're gonna probably get the shutdown on these gateways as well, so less unit production for Maples, and I think this might be it. Asuna gonna force Maples to pull out the pros, but still gonna be quite tough.
Well, a turn of events to say, I didn't think this would go this way, but it has. The Immortals are absolutely shredding Maples already. Looks like it's going to do a good job. 10 probes going down, only a few Stalkers left there. Even if he does go south, it's still far gone.
Alright, all probes just gets killed off, and all that's left are these 4 stalkers, and get cleaned up as well. And there we have it. Asuna will be the winner up here. It's just a matter of time before Maples. I think he's just kind of sitting back and kind of in shock of how he lost after scouting the TT in the first place. But there we have it. Asuna will win the series 2-1.